Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, Kalam Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Al Kakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do rule and teach well. And as always, honors to the brothers out there pushing this truth with all sincerity across the four corners. We're just going to get into a quick topic. We'll start off with Isaiah 58 and 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Little thy voice like a trumpet, show my people their transgression, and also Jacob their sins. Alright, so this is what we gotta do. We're out there on the highways and byways. Lift up our voices like a trumpet. Alright, not cowering away. And showing our people their transgression, and also Jacob their sins. Why? Alright, so the hopeful elect can turn back from their ways. Well, let me say that. So that those who are to be the hopeful elect can turn back to their ways and follow this truth. Alright, because at the end of the day, we always say, hopeful, because we don't know. Alright, we can only pray and have faith that we, be those men to be saved. The scriptures say that men ought to say, Lord willing, Okay, so we're going to get this other one. This is the book of Psalm chapter, was it 118? No. This is the book of Psalm chapter 119 and 9. Wherewithal shall young man cleanse his way, by taking heed thereto according to thy word. Alright, so for young man, right, because, a lot of times the Lord, will deal with men when they're young to come into this thing. Alright, so, when they're young in age, when their mind is still, fresh, and they're open to change. And a lot of times when men get older, they're not so open to change. They're kind of just set in their ways, and, they are who they are. And the Lord let them choose them when they're young, so that they can come up the right way, and then, be stuck in that way. Right? If you're gonna be choosing a way, you want to choose a way where you're doing the right thing. Right? And that's keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. That's making your sit downs. That's, well, whatever your lot is in the spirit. It's not every man's lot to be out there, but you're participating in the ministry, whatever your, your role is. Right? But they're taking heed unto that word. Right? You take heed to that word by going and talking to his men. All right. Well, not necessarily talking, listening, and taking heed to his men. All right. So they can break it down, his prophets. Right. The men, starting with the elders and apostles on down to the brothers of Great Millstone, man. The men. All right. That's what you got to take heed to clean your way. All right. Like it says in Isaiah 55, you'll seek the Lord while he may be found. You seek the Lord by, taking heed to his men. All right, the prophets. All right, who are able to break down the scriptures to you so that you can get the understanding thereof and understand and know, what you're supposed to be doing in these times. All right. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 1. Remember thou that created in the days of thy youth, while the evil days not, nor the years draw nigh, and thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. All right, so, remember thy creator, like now, and like when I was talking about Isaiah 119 and 9, it doesn't mean that if you come into truth and you're, older, it doesn't mean that, the Lord isn't dealing with you. The Lord is dealing with you if you, if you understand and, you have faith, right? You understand, you're following along, right? It doesn't mean that, the Lord isn't dealing with you because of your age, right? Because you came in at an older age, right? It's just that the Lord typically chooses his men at a young age, right? So while the old days come not, when the years are nigh, when I shall say I have no pleasure in them. Right? So you have to seek the Lord now. Right? Don't wait until his men are off the street. And now you're talking about trying to find his men, and now you want to listen. Now you want to try to like lock in at that last moment. Right? It's not. It's not gonna happen, man. Right? Because that's the prophecy, the famine of the word. Right? Men are gonna look. Men, women, they're gonna look for us. Be like, where was those guys at? They were always out there every Saturday. Where are they now? Right? We're not gonna be out there because it's gonna be straight up, famines, riots, all type of stuff out there in the street. These people are gonna have answers. So they're gonna want to get answers. Right? But meanwhile, before that time, where they had the liberty and the place of repentance, right? Like it says in Second Esdras, they squandered it. They wanted to just get those benefits, the benefits of conforming to society, right? When they should have just made the sacrifice early, and that you're not gonna conform, and that you're not gonna just do what everyone else wants to do, right? So let there be that, Lord, and find this shalom.